You would never ask this man what he'd wear under his kilt. What he's going to say is going to be highly inappropriate. Probably going to get slapped in the face. Hey toy fans, so I'm here with another amazing toy review. Judging by the shirt, I got some sort of, muscle down 5.5 inch action figure sort of review here. It's not a Masters universe, but it is a Masters of the WW universe, which I happen to love this line by Mattel. I kind of wish that they'd have carried it on a little bit longer, but we got what we got, and anytime I come across one, I'm trying to pick it up. So today, this happened to be one that I got with Ricky Steamboat, and I had to pick them both up. So if you follow my Instagram at TayRaygun, you would have seen probably which one I'm talking about. But it's been a while, and I really, really want to open them. I'm bringing to you today Roddy Piper, the mouth, the madness, the rowdiness of world wrestling. I love this guy. Watching him when I was a kid, I really enjoyed not only seeing him in the ring, but also watching him with the Piper's Pit and watching him make, carnage and mayhem there. I dug it. And, speaking of Piper's Pit, I noticed on this side, if you see the comments, you got Rowdy back there. But on this side, if you look, you got Mr. T, which if you remember from one of his Pit episodes when he was talking to Hulk Hogan signed him to battle Mr. T. So I was like, yes, that's a nice callback. I really dig it. Before we get into that review, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Like the video down below. Comment. I like commenting back to you. What do you say? Let's get into it. Alright, and this of course is Roddy Piper, the evil hot rod on card, and I gotta admit, all the details, all the little minute subtleties about who Roddy Piper was, I absolutely dig it. It's a really nice figure so far, and a callback to the man that was the Mayhem. Now, if you look, he does carry this armor here. Now, this armor we've seen before with our Macho Man Randy Savage, and it's the armor that has the replacement pieces on it, much like the classics armor for the Battle Armor He-Man. This time though, we get it in white with of course the red cut-off sleeves and Hot Rod written across his plate on the front, much like his shirt that he would always wear. Now we do get a reuse of Skeletor's belt from the Origins line, and this time we've got our plaid on there to make it look like his kilt, which I dig. Subtleties of the blue knee pads, and of course the boots there, because he would wear kind of a brown wrestling boot, and he looks really cool. I like that they went with the longer hair version of him, because that was him during his prime. Not when he first got into it, but when he was really, really succeeding in the ring and having a good run. So, I'm really excited about this. Now, if you look here, the card is much like the other cards we've gotten, Masters of the WW Universe, and then we have our name here, Roddy Piper, the Evil Hot Rod. And back behind him, and you actually have a mini comic, and then we get this little blurb here about it having high superposing. Let's check out the back. On the back, we get some artwork up here. Of course, we get Rowdy here. We get the evil Macho Man Randy Savage. And then, of course, Jake the Snake Roberts over there as the Viper Lord. Now, over here, we get some other things. Let's see. We get some cross-sell art with other figures in the line. Becky Lynch, the man of WW Eternia. Macho Man Randy Savage. HWO for life. Roddy Piper, Evil Hot Rod, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Heroic Master of Dragons, which we've done a review of. Now here we've got this kind of blurb to talk about how his armor works. You separate the armor and you change out the plates, so he should have battle damage feature on him that makes it like his Hot Rod armor has been damaged a couple times. And then up here, I really like this little part about what it says with the artwork. It says, just when they think they have all the answers, Hot Rod changes the questions. Real superstars don't just wear kilts, they also wear battle armor. And that's a nice callback to the Viper Pit, which was a show that he created through McMahon to basically have him on screen for a little bit more and to cause a whole bunch of ruckus. And he did cause a whole bunch of ruckus. Now that's the card art. And it's not going to tell us anything else about this figure. We need to get it out and get to wrestling. Oh man, and right out of the package, I am just in love with this figure. You know, at first I was like, why did they give him an axe? And I saw, you know, it was the blue, so it matched like his knee pads and everything. And I started thinking about it, I'm like, this man has an axe to grind. So I was like, this is perfect. And of course, he definitely looks the part. I might have a new favorite figure out of this line so far. I really dig him. I think he's great. Now, coming out of the package, of course, we get him with his axe, and then 2 plates where you have one that's completely thrashed out, one that's partially thrashed out, and then, of course, the good plate that's up there in his chest, and this is the one that he ships with, his armor, his kilt, and then a mini comic. Now, the mini comic is really cool, and it reminds me a lot of some of what Viper's Pit was like. So, you know, it's got the Roddy Piper over here, the evil hot rod. It's got some stats about him. I didn't know that he was 6'2", but apparently he is. He had supersonic speech and chaos magic caster. Yeah. And then a loud mouth battle axe for his actual object, which is kind of funny. And then, of course, we got Piper's Slime Pit. So instead of it being Piper's Pit, it's Piper's Slime Pit. It's really cool. I love this. Let me tell you something. This is my pit. That means my rules, which is something he said quite often. On the back, of course, you've got some cross-sell art. And this is kind of what's on the back of the package. Now, let's put this away. Let's take a look at Roddy Piper. Now, our Piper action figure, he boasts a lot of articulation. And if you've seen any of the episodes where I've either talked about the Masters Universe Origins or the Masters of the WWE, you'll know kind of what you're getting here. You got a ball jointing on the head, ball hinged at the shoulders, ball hinged at the elbows, of course a ball hinge at the wrists as well. You got a swivel waist, you got kind of a ball hinge type of hip, ball hinge knees, swivel calves area, and then a rocker. Looks like a rocker ankle with it's just a pivoting ankle. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it rocked or not, but it doesn't. Okay. Now with his axe, and this is an axe that we've seen quite a bit. We got this whenever we got the John Cena action figure from the wrestling ring that had the Grayskull wrestling ring with the clear axe in it. So we're getting a reuse of that axe again, which is pretty nice. It's a good looking axe, but this time it's got some nice, like, almost like metallic blue to it. It's really hard to see, but it's kind of shiny and I dig it. Now, other than that, we do get his kilt, which is a reused part from Skeletor. So now if you want to have a red kilted Skeletor, you can. And it's that pliable kind of almost Keshi material, so it works out there. And then you've got this armor. Now, what I have found that works best for me with this armor, and this is the same armor that we had with Macho Man. So what I do is I first take off the arms. That allows me to get over here and see if I can't pop this side open. Take his head off, I guess. Pop these up over the shoulder. Bring them forward and... oh, this one's really stuck. Pop that open. Now, the one thing to keep in mind with this armor, and this is something that I started to do on my Macho Man, is you're supposed to be able to pop this plate out, okay? And it's got tabs on the side where you can pop it forward, and I have yet to be able to change my plates on my armor. So for me, for Macho Man, he still has the original plate in there because I just can't seem to pop them out without scarring or bruising or damaging the plastic. Any type of stress on this plastic, it's not going to be quite as noticeable as it is on the purple, because the purple's darker. But for me, I just have such a hard time getting that to pop out. that I really don't feel like I want to take the chance of destroying his armor. And, you know, at this point, it's really hard to find these, so I don't really want to overdo it. Now, pop the head back on. Put the arms back in. And now you got pretty much a regular Roddy Piper action figure. The one thing I noticed about this figure versus the other ones in the line is that he actually comes with the He-Man style boots. So he actually comes with the fuzzy, wrapped up, kind of sackcloth style boots, which is kind of interesting because I don't remember any other character in the line coming with those. So this is the one that actually has a very big difference in boots than the others. To me, it works, and I don't see why, you know, he shouldn't have it. But we're kind of used to, at this point, having boots or even the lace-up boots that this seems just a little bit off. But I'm not too concerned, and I'm not actually complaining at all. A few things I noticed as I started to play with him is I did notice that there were a few fitting errors with his armor, head, and his kilt. Now, keep in mind that the actual armor is taken from, if I remember correctly, the battle armor He-Man that came in the Masters of the Universe Classics line. And whereas these figures are actually a 5.5-inch squatted body pose that are kind of the size of He-Man, the Masters of the Universe Classics are actually at a full 6 to 6.5-inch scale. So there is a bit of difference between them. So the armor, even though it fits really close, it doesn't fit quite enough. And what I ran into was a problem where once you put the armor on and then you put his head on, his head likes to pop off easily because the hair doesn't have room to sit where the armor is. So because the armor sits so far up on him, his head doesn't really have room to kind of pop down. So that's probably something that they might have done, either sculpting the head down a little bit or even shortening the hair up a little bit in order to clear for the armor. So keep that in mind. If you get one of these, there's a good chance that the hair is going to get in the way and cause the head to pop off a lot. Now the loincloth kilt piece also, because that armor is so big, it pushes the kilt or the loincloth piece down onto the hips, so it doesn't actually sit on top of the wrestling underwear like it's supposed to. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind. For me, I'm going to display him, so I'm not going to really play with him too much, so I don't have to really worry about the head popping off. But for kids that might have this, I can see this as a big problem where they want to put his armor on, have him being a hot rod, and then his head keeps falling off. I could see that being a major issue down the road. All in all, I think this figure is really cool, and I think it's a lot of fun. And for those who really like Roddy Piper, this is kind of one of those really cool figures to get. That's a nice crossover. This figure might still be available out there on the market. I happen to pick mine up at a small town Walmart. Being that this is a Walmart exclusive, you're going to find it mainly there or on the secondary market, which is going to cost you a lot more than the actual $15 price point that Walmart was putting out. So, if you're going out looking for this guy, good luck with the toy. Whoa! This episode of Tay Ray Gun was sponsored by Marvin Dog Media. To learn more about Marvin Dog Media, visit www.marvindogmedia.com. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below to let YouTube know that you like what I'm making. And be sure to hit that bell notification so you get updates to future content.